Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Well, I guess I have to begin by asking the question, does America have a pope? Did they vote? No, it's still not resolved. Okay, well, just remember when the dumpster fire starts turning white, the smoke starts turning white, we know we've got the person we've been looking for. All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin with take ourselves out of all of that mishigas, and we're going to start thinking about Shabbat. And a good way to start is musically. So let's do a little nigun. Doesn't require words, just an attitude. Music has attitude.
Right. And this is the Lubavitcher nigun. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai.
Well, there are many strings that pass through our lives during a week, but we try and pull them all together for Shabbat. And one of those strings that we need to always hold on to is community and each other. And so this is a good time to check in to see what good and blessing is going on. I'm looking at the list of known goods, and I know that Joe and Simone Armon are celebrating their anniversary. And Joe also has a birthday this week, as does Jason Dittberner and Bella Kaplan and Mark Muniz. So there's a couple of things going on. So good and blessing doesn't have to be a big deal, just has to be a recognition that something good has happened, something is going right in your life. Small thing, if you wish. So, who has a good and blessing, starting over on this side, to share with us? Yes, my dear.
Started my last semester of high school, and my classes are going very well so far.
That's right. How many classes do you actually have this semester?
Real classes?
One. Okay, yeah. No wonder it's going so well. Very good. Michael, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, it was my Nona's 80th birthday.
Mazel tov to her. That's wonderful. Who else? Yes, young man. Always a blessing to have your family with you. Excellent. Anybody else on this side want to share something? Okay. Anything over here? No? Let's move over to this side of the room. Who has a tov uvracha that they can share with us? Yes, Richard.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. And we're glad to see you and have you here with us.
As well as the support that I got from the congregation in my convalescence.
Excellent. We're glad that we could be there for you and contribute to your recovery. Anybody else? Yes, Gil?
I just finished my classes, so I have an associate's degree now.
Yay! Very nice. Anyone else have anything to share? Well, I will just add, because it's been, people have been very thoughtful and aware of Robin's recovery, and I have to say this week has been a week of general progress. We're not breaking crockery anymore, and she's attending rehab and seems to be well on her way, and most important of all, she's got her crochet skills back. So I think these are all good signs towards as full a possible recovery as we could imagine. So that's definitely a blessing for sure. All right, so we move from community to spirituality. We begin by signaling the beginning of our Sabbath with light, a symbol of God's presence. And it's my delight to invite up Michelle Jim to kindle the lights of Shabbat. And you will find we're going to be in service number 2 tonight. So I'm going to invite you to turn to page 26. Page 26. The whole text is right there for you if you need it, my dear.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, you got so many new page.
A different light shines this day, a light pure and bright. It glows like that of an angel's. Its brightness fills my heart completely. I shall rejoice and be glad. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotah, v'tzivanu lihak l'ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Praise are you, Holy One of blessing, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvah, and who inspires us to kindle the Shabbat light.
Thank you. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. I'm going to invite you to turn back to page 24. We sit here, newly gathered before the face of our God, joining together to worship the eternal and to sanctify our own existence. How shall we begin to search to reach the sacred part of ourselves where rests the essence of all that is good? By stopping our concerns for those things which distract us all week long, and by instead welcoming the Sabbath bride, by opening ourselves to hear the message, oh so silent, carried to us by the small, still voice of God. We turn now to page 25 with Anim Zimirot.
Anim Zimirot B'dirim Erod, Ki Elecha Nashiaru, Nashif Hamda, Olchi Yadecha, Ladat Ko Rashodecha. Amen, amen. Midei daberi bichevodecha, hoshme libi edodecha, yeravna siki alecha, ki nashi rogelecha. Amen, amen.
I seek pleasing melodies and weave songs, for my soul thirsts for you. My soul desires to rest in the shadow of your hand and to know all your mysterious secrets. Whenever I speak of your glory, my heart yearns for your love. Let my meditations be sweet to you, for my soul thirsts for you. We continue now on page 27 with Shalom Aleichem. We welcome the angels of Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Ni Melech, Malchei Chamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borchem LaShalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malchei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malchei Chamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sithem LaShalom Ma'el HaShalom Malchei Elyon. Mi melech Malchei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Peace be to you, ministering angels, messengers of the Most High, the Majesty of Majesties, the Holy One of Blessing. Come in peace, bless us with peace, and go in peace. Now we turn to Psalm 139. O God, you have searched me and know me well, and you understand all my thoughts and every word upon my tongue. Your presence surrounds me. You touch me with your hand. Your presence exceeds my own perception. It is a wonder beyond imagining. We continue now with Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba. B'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich mahutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'yimaru amen. Yeheshmei rabo mevora, le'alamul almei omaya, yitbarak, yitbarak, v'yishtabak. Viet Pa'ar, Viet Roman, Viet Nase, Viet Hadar, Viet Ale, Viet Alal, Shmei Kudashah, Bariku, Leila Min Kol Birchata, V'Shirata, Tushrichata V'Nehemata, Damin Ram Diama, V'Yimaru, Amen.
Please rise, if able, for the Baruch.
Baruch et Adonai. Oh, I'm trying that again. Sorry.
That's right.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Psalm 104. Bless the eternal, O my soul, O eternal my God, you are very great. You are clothed in glory and majesty, and wrapped in light like a robe. You spread out the heavens like a tent cloth. God sets the rafters of the high places in the waters. God makes the winds to be messengers, fiery flames to serve you. You made the deep cover the earth as a garment, and the waves to stand above mountains. You make springs gush forth in torrents, and they make their way between the hills. You water the mountains from your high places, and the earth is sated from the fruit of your work. The trees of the eternal drink their fill, the cedars of Lebanon your own planting, where birds make their nest, while the stork has her home in the junipers. God made the moon to mark the seasons. The sun knows its time to set. How manifold are your works, O Eternal! In wisdom you have made them all. May the glory of the Eternal endure forever, and may you rejoice in your works. Bless the Eternal, O my soul. Hallelujah. As I sing of one God, I rejoice in the wonders of this world, and I pray for that day when all people shall seem and be as one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We carry forward our theme of love and the obligations that flow from love with the Via Hafta. Feel free to join in, please.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובגומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי הייתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם אלוהים אני אדוני
Elohechem. Middle of page 32. When a Jew speaks a word of prayer in love and in awe, the power of that word gives birth to God's glory. And the angels call out to God, "Who is like unto you?" How great is even a single word of such a prayer. It causes the very angels to sing. All worlds join with the one who serves the eternal. This is the meaning of the Micha Mocha, that the one who sings a song below can arouse so many songs on high.
Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum. Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum. Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum. Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum. Mi chamocho bo'elim Adonai, mi chamocho nedar b'kodesh, no ra tehilot o sefele, no ra tehilot o sefele. Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum. Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum. Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum. Yai die 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 die, yai die 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 bim bum.
The middle of page 33. Grant that this night we lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and raise us up tomorrow, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Baruch atah Adonai hafores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. I might imagine God as a teacher or friend, but those images of the past, like king, master, father, or mother, are perhaps too small for me now. God is a force of motion and light in the universe. God is the strength of life on our planet. God is the power moving us to do good. God is the source of love springing up within us. God is far beyond what we can comprehend. We continue now with Tefillah on page 34. Once again, if able, please rise.
Adonai sefotai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu,
וקונה הכל, וזוכר הסתרות והאמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרא שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מחכה חיים וחסד, מחיי הכל ורחמים רבים. So make no fleeing ורופא עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצליח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יחלו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You are holy, your name is holy, and all who strive to be holy daily sing your praise. Praised are you, the holy God. Please be seated. And in our celebration of Shabbat, we're going to be singing Yismechu v'Malachutecha in the middle of page 36.
Yismechu v'Malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'Malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Mikadashei, Mikadashei Shavi Shabbat, Kulam Yisbe'u, V'yitangu Metuvecha Shabbat. Yishmechu v'Malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'Malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Uhashvi ratzita bo v'kidash to Shabbat, Chemdat yami, oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'Malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'Malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Zecher L'maaseh v'Reishit Shabbat. Zecher L'maaseh v'Reishit Shabbat. Yismechu v'Malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha. Shamre, 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 Shabbat Bekore, Onik Shabbat.
On this Shabbat we reach, O God, for you from our quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. And for a brief moment, listen to the world. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own needs against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Steady us with faith. Quiet places and stillness, where we will hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places and stillness, where we will reach out to each other. We will find strength in silence, and with that strength, we will turn again to your service. There are times, O God, when I feel alone, and yet I know in my heart that I am never truly alone. You're always there, waiting for me to speak to you of my desires, fears, hopes, and dreams. Yet, how seldom do I reach out to you to voice my gratitude for all that is beautiful in my life, for all the gifts of my life. Love, family, and friendship, they've all come from you, but the greatest gift of all is your presence, which time and again has given me strength, hope, and courage. I need to know that you are beside me, not only in the prayer book, but in the depths of my being, my friend, my strength, my God. We're going to close out this part of our service with a prayer for peace, and then we're going to take some time for our own silent prayers and meditations. Shalom Rav, everyone.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecha shalom. Ki atahu melech adon lecha shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov b'eineha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol eid uv'chosha b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Oh, say Shalom bin Romav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Ostei shalom bin Romav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. 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 V'imru amen.
So in that little space of time between cooking Shabbat dinner and getting ready to come here, I got to spend a little time reading 15 amazing things you didn't know about your favorite movies. That wasn't research. I got hooked into clickbait. And you'll be happy to know that after spending 10 sacred minutes reading that clickbait, discovering that 11 of those 15 things I already knew, and about a half dozen of them really weren't worth knowing, I may have come close to achieving Hollywood enlightenment. Alas, if enlightenment could be achieved through clickbait, the whole world would be enlightened by now. It would justify all the mindless time that I've spent on various forms of internet information over the years. Sadly, that time is gone for me forever. Was it worth it? It's kind of funny that I'm a grown-up, a person trained in interpreting text, and still I sometimes fall prey to clickbait. I just gotta go and follow that rabbit hole. What exactly is going on here? I'm a bit of a news junkie, and so that's my first problem. I often hit up on CNN for my quick fix, and many of CNN's alluring headlines practically qualify as clickbait by themselves. But what really gets me is the stories at the bottom of the page, which are, quite frankly, curated specifically targeting me using algorithms, right? So you just scroll down a bit and it's clickbait heaven or clickbait hell, however you regard it. You won't believe what these former child stars look like now, the clickbait reads. And my brain says, oh yeah? I'll be the judge of that. And off I go. I'm not one who chases clickbait, but it's there for a reason. It works, and it works how? Clickbait is any content on the internet whose sole purpose is to draw attention and persuade the person looking to click on a link to a certain web page. It's a way to lure us into reading, watching, listening to a piece of linked online material and whatever ads go with it. Using clickbaity headlines is a preferred method for many businesses to capitalize on the curiosity of readers. However, often we find that these are misleading. They don't really address the content doesn't address the headline that's being presented to us, and whatever's there is of questionable value or quality. These headlines, nonetheless, are designed to get us to click on what would otherwise be seemingly strange, dull, or low-quality content on the web or on a mobile device, but sometimes it's worth it, even if the headline is a little bit misleading, which is what brings us to our Torah portion this week. Our Torah portion for this week is, first of all, called Vayechi, which means, and he lived, as in Jacob lived, which is totally clickbait, because he's dead by the end of the section. All right? So don't be fooled by that. Not only is he dead, but two people are dead. He and Joseph both die in this portion. So we've already been set up by 2,000-year-old clickbait. Now, prior to his death, Jacob gathers his children together for a final blessing. His words actually don't read so much like a blessing, so that's the second clickbait. It's more like an employee annual review than a blessing. Let's take a look at a few of the remarks that he offers to his children on his deathbed. To his firstborn, Reuben, he says, "Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might and my first fruit of my vigor, exceeding in rank, exceeding in honor. Unstable as water, you shall excel no more." Bam! And then Simeon and Levi. Simeon and Levi, their weapons are tools of lawlessness. Let not my person be included in their council. Let not my being be counted in their assembly. For when angry they slay men. When pleased they maim oxen. All right, that's actually pretty exciting content if you think about it. But it's hardly a blessing. At first glance, we have to admit that the idea that these are blessings is seriously misleading. Jacob does not offer such kind words to his son. Talk about a father who seems to have perhaps unrealistic expectations of his children, or maybe he's just a little too oversharing, or perhaps he's just being honest about their faults. These blessings, as they are, actually connected to earlier behaviors by his sons, failures, if it were. Simon and Levi, for example, attacked Shechem and murdered a number of people after Dinah was raped. They took the law into their own hands, and as vigilantes, that's how Jacob remembers them. But then there's the fourth son, Judah, from whom we trace our lineage because it is from the tribe of Judah that we derive our very title, Jew. And Jacob says these of his fourth son, "You, O Judah, your brothers shall praise. Your hand shall be on the nap of your foe, and your father's son shall bow low to you. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet. So the tribute shall come to him, and the homage of people be his." All right. Now, biblical scholars looking at these would suggest that these words were actually authored after the success or failures of the various tribes years, decades, maybe centuries later. They're offered in retrospect. They're not really spoken by our ancestor Jacob, but written later as his words. But our question is not really about the historical accuracy of these visions. Instead, it's about the nature of the insights they offer into personalities and personality traits. Jacob is therefore, we'll take it that it is Jacob, speaking about character, something that is more than what he aspires for his son. What he's giving is not so much a blessing, he's giving feedback. Clickbaity though it may seem, I believe our Torah portion actually teaches us two holy lessons, two tools for our living our lives. And the first is that not everybody earns an A all the time. We Jews aspire to excellence, and because of that, many of us excel, but not all of us, and certainly not all the time. At no point in offering his critique does Jacob say, he's done with us. There's no point to living if you can't be perfect. And more importantly, God doesn't write us off because we are less than the best we could be. Our ancestors were, for the most part, just okay. For every Joseph or Judah, the kids who get all the A's all the time, those Jews who go on to extraordinary careers or historical achievements, they're not the norm. For every one of them, there's 10 more. There's the Reubens and the Gads and the Simeons and the Issachars, the Benjamins and the Dans, the Zebulons and the Ashers and Naphtali's, the people who only score a solid B, or maybe even those who make regular C's. That's just in the nature of things, and that's okay. Whether one considers it to be a blessing or not, it is reality, and we will live better and happier lives if we accept that we, as individuals, will not always excel, that we're not always at the leaders of the pack, that we're not always the great ones of our family. And the second thing is that honest feedback is actually a kind of blessing. While matters of character may be stubborn and intractable things, we teach, and our tradition has shown, that self-improvement, revising and cultivating better traits, behaviors, and characteristics, what our tradition calls midot, is entirely attainable. And it's been my delight here the past year to see at Kol Ami a second Musar group, or character development group, form here at Congregation Kol Ami. Musar is a traditional Jewish path of spiritual development that leads to awareness, wisdom, and transformation. It's a treasury of teachings and practices that helps individuals understand their true nature as holy souls, and then to break through those barriers that surround and obstruct the flow of interholiness, or our inner light. The goal of Musar is to release the light of holiness that God has planted in us, and that allows it to flow out of each soul. But in order for that to work, one of the key elements of Musar is honest critique, honest self-critique, but also asking our fellow students of Musar to offer their critiques of us, so that we might, in fact, understand how we could best improve. The methods of Musar include the study of classical and contemporary Jewish literature, engaging in regular practices such as meditation, silence, and retreat, journaling, chanting, visualizations and exercises, and talking to one another about who we are, how we fall short, and how we can change ourselves on behalf of other people. All are intended to penetrate the darkness of the subconscious to bring about change in the root of our nature. The Musar tradition in some ways is really co-equal with the Jewish tradition. It underpins so many things that we do. It's what we do every High Holy Day when we acknowledge before God and before each other our flaws and our shortcomings. It drives our aspirations to make the world better, and arguably it goes all the way back to this Torah portion. It must not have been easy for most of Jacob's sons to hear their father's truth-telling, but in the end, I believe it did prove to be a blessing, setting them and their descendants on a path of self-reflection, self-criticism, and self-improvement that has made the tiny, tiny Jewish people a heavyweight in human history. Individually, we don't all get to be exceptional, and quite frankly, that's just fine. God loves us just the way we are. But because our ancestor Jacob was more honest than perhaps his children would have liked, he set us on a collective path of greatness that has proven ultimately to be an extraordinary blessing for our people, for ourselves, and for the world. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So it's time for announcements, and our officer is the man behind the screen, the great and wonderful Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Surely. Shabbat Shalom. So, we have a few announcements tonight. The CKA blood drive is tomorrow. It's going to be from noon till 4 o'clock. It's never too late to sign up, or if you want to show up, the bus will be out here in the parking lot, so feel free to drop by. And then they have the sign-up link on the website if you want to sign up ahead of time. Also, we're putting together a group event for the Rough Riders on opening weekend, which will be April 8th, and the game's actually at 7:05 p.m. And if you'll look on the website, we have a link. They're offering discounted tickets to us, and they're going to seat everybody from the group together. So we'll have our own section there at the Rough Riders Park. So if you're interested, get on there and sign up, and hopefully we get a big enough group together to have a great time. We're also doing a t-shirt design contest for the kids in the religious school. They're asking that our youngest congregation members to design a t-shirt for CKA using the theme of "What does CKA mean to me?" There will be 3 winners chosen based on age groups, so they're going to do K through 3rd, 4th through 8th, and then high school. Each winner will receive a free t-shirt with their design on it, and then the winning designs will be available for purchase to our congregation members and their friends and families, and we'll use that as a fundraiser for the shul itself. So it's a great opportunity. All of those designs are due by this Sunday, January 8th, and they'll do the judging at religious school once they're all turned in. The annual Dallas Kosher Chili Cook-Off is back and in full swing. It's been down for a couple of years after COVID, but Tiferet Israel is holding that on March 19th of this year. So we're looking at perhaps putting a team together. We had tried to do that just prior to COVID, and we got shut down. And so we're looking at doing it again. If you're interested, drop me an email in the office, and if we can get enough people interested, we'll set up a team this year and compete. And like I said, the actual competition is on March 19th. I think that's it for announcements. So we always, as a congregation, like to offer a prayer of healing for anyone in need of that, for having any sickness or anything else. Misha Bayrock. And so let me read the names that we have here. Jane Mobley, Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bovino, Karen Brown, Sandy Cook, Mark Davis, Ben Dickerson, Nancy Inneman, Harry Inneman, Francine Feingold, Michelle Griffith, Carol Jones, Molly Kalig, John Kaufman, Deb Kaufman, Laura Koenig, Alex Koenig, Richard Kurgan, Gianna LaMonica, Deb Ledden, Mel Levin, Phyllis Lorelli, Paxton Lucht, Paul Redwood Jr., Helen Rubel, Bruce Sari, Adrian Sandler, Dale Seaver, Happy Waterman, Karen Weinstein, Barry Weinstein, Carly Wisniewski, and Tom Wolf. Are there any other names that we can add to the list for this evening? Yes, sir.
Tony Thomas,
Okay.
Paul Davis, Carrie Davis, Tony Odom, Shirley Hayden.
Okay.
Leslie Wolpa,
Okay.
Michael Elmer,
Okay. Any other names?
Robin Dennis and Marilyn Colton.
Respond.
Respond. Okay. All right. If you'll join me with the Misha Bayrock, it's on the back of the bulletin if you don't have it. And what page?
It's at the bottom of page 40.
Bottom of page 40.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, Mekor habracha, lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So, as we turn to the Aleinu on page 82, I find my heart is divided. I like to invite people up to open the ark with me. It seems whimsical. There's usually a reason for it. And tonight, my heart began by saying, Deb Ledden, who hasn't been here in quite some time. But then my heart said again, Deb. Deb Kaufman, who is here all the time and always working on doing something good for us. So I'm thinking, why should I have a divided heart? Why not just have them both come on up? So both of you, come on up here. What's that? I know. I know. We're not going anywhere. There we go. More.
A little bit more.
There we go. All right, please rise, everyone. Go ahead, grab it. Excellent. Page 82. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gilula yotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamalchim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim v'yoser haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al u'shkinatu zo v'govei meromi hu Eloheinu Einok emet malkeinu efes ulato kakatu betorato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevalecha Ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim ima'al ve'al ha'aretz mitzah einu.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. And now we take our time to honor and reflect on those people who have touched our lives, who have been important to us, but are no longer physically with us. And yet their name lingers in our midst, and we want to honor that, as well as recognizing those who mourn for them. So we're going to begin with Shiva and with Stanley Irwin Berman, a father of Andrew Berman, who died this week. Is there anyone else in Shiva? For Shloshim, we're thinking of two individuals. We're thinking of Linda Chidsey, the mother of Matthew and Morgan Chidsey, and Carol Solon Feldman, the mother of Suzanne Aubin. Is there anyone else who's lost someone the last month? Please.
Stephen Lapidus.
Thank you. And for Yahrzeit this week, we first of all, we want to remember those individuals who died as a result of January 6th, 2 years ago. But we also want to recall these individuals close to our community. Merton E. Cohen, Molly Elfont, Noah Ewing, Joseph Ferraro, Carl Jacobs Gladfelter, Israel Golden, Elsie Jaffe, Rosalind Leva, Jack Levine, Maureen Rosen, Maurice Rosen, Albert Rubel, Gutter Rubel, Armando Sandoval, Ann Singer, and George Z. Watt. Is there anyone else observing a yard site? Please.
Bessie Shorty Holzman.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Okay. We take our time now to think of those people and to share our grief and our sympathy by joining together to recite Kaddish on page 85. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Israel, bagalal ubizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran be'elma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba mim shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromah Hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace, who makes peace in places far beyond our understanding, make peace for those who mourn, and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say, amen. Please be seated. And our closing song is going to be Al Shlosha Devarim.
Ki Shmirat Shabbat.
Oh, it's that. Oh, Ki Eshmeira Shabbat. Forgive me. Ki Eshmeira Shabbat, and it is on page 100, bottom of the page, number 22. When I keep the Sabbath, God keeps me. It is a sign between me and thee forever.
Ki Shmirat Shabbat. El Yishmereini. Ki Shmirat Shabbat. El Yishmereini, Oti leome ad beno uveni, Oti meove ad beno uveni, Ki Yishmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini, Ki Yishmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.